We'll be fine. Uh,
All right. This
2023 Aston Martin.
No, try again.
This
No, not that either.
I think I'm getting the tone wrong.
Yeah.
So,
No, that looks weird.
Yo, bro, what's going on here, bro?
the rest.
Horror.
Yeah, I got it.
You feel?
Yo, let me stop. I bet. That's not gonna stop me. I'm gonna keep streaming.
In 2016, we got the DB11, and then in 2019 came the DBS Superleggera, meaning super light. But just like Subway stopped saying 100% real chicken, Aston removed the Superleggera part from the name last year. Maybe because at almost 4,000 pounds, it's not that light, is it? But it is monstrous. British muscle car taken to the extreme.
V12 twin turbo.
$400,000 extreme. Aston Martin might be able to put Fernando Alonso on a podium, but can they show two idiots on holiday in California that they also know how to make the ultimate grand touring machine? Let's find out.
And if you're new to Throttle House, we do car reviews, track tests, and quite a lot of messing about. So subscribe, hit the bell.
Hmm.
715 horsepower, twin turbocharged V12. Real
Nah, well, I'm enjoying
I gotta
this
be
little
pretty
stream and
careful
stuff.
here.
Kind of fun.
This is such an impressive engine, and I mean it already started great on paper, but when I hear turbocharged and a sports car, I find myself a bit deflated normally, because I associate that with things like, oh, you have to get into the turbo threshold for it to push, or there's lag, or
That car,
it
yo, the
stifles
Aston
sound.
Martin is like
But
such
the
a
moment you add
sleek
twin
design.
turbos
Like,
and
it's just-
a metric ton of displacement,
it's just so
5.2
nice.
litres, it turns into the Tom Cruise character from Tropic Thunder. And it lets those turbochargers do their thing, and then it tells them to step back and literally their own face! They've managed to make this car feel naturally aspirated. In fact, the only thing that betrays that concept is there is so much torque down low around town, thanks to those twin turbos, that this just constantly has so much power. I mean, they've beefed up the transmission, the 8-speed, to handle the extra torque. It's got 663 pound-feet of torque, which sends that power to the rear wheels through a carbon fiber prop shaft, spinning in an aluminium torque tube. That's science stuff, it can deal with it. Sounds. Downshifts are. There's a constant crackle as well. You know, you haven't got to just drive this car fast. It's kind of like it's entertaining at car park speeds. Here, I'll drop down to first gear.
Nah,
It just
that car is
sounds like there's a constant storm going on in the
I did
distance.
the Aston
as you
Martins were
rumble
like that,
through any
like-
car park. I parked this at the gym here in LA
or that like
just so I could rumble through it. I didn't.
I don't know, like I always feel like there was
because
just like
it's not
that
about lifting.
that soft
Not wrong.
luxury car where it's just like
And
you
then when
just
you want, you can get on
you
it.
know, just luxury, not no
And some people have said that this is over
roar.
muscular. And yeah, I
Not no
agree
rumble,
actually.
not no
Traction is
popping.
not its friend. Even driving now, I've barely gone past half
Kind of like a
throttle.
Tesla.
It just wants to break the rear end, and it does so in not the most progressive
that is a
way. It
good
just suddenly
angle of that
steps
car.
out.
That's wallpaper right there.
Ask me how I know. There's a bit of brown in the grey of this chair now. Like, I'm sure it can do 3.4 seconds to 60, but that must be somewhere very sticky and very safe. I'm not going to attempt that today, nor am I going to attempt the 211 mile an hour top speed that this thing can do. But my God, is it comfortable at speed. Just the way a Grand Tourer should be.
And when it comes to super expensive GT cars, there are many rivals. When we drove the Bentley Continental GT, we said that it was special. But I think that maybe the Aston Martin represents where special meets cool. Okay, listen, I might not be an authority on cool. For example, I just had the best day at Disneyland and I bought myself a $200 Jedi costume. But cool is it's not a tangible thing. You can't measure it. But you know what? It's how I feel. Driving this ridiculous V12 idiot through the gate. Oh my God, it's so powerful. Seriously, there's two scenarios in this car. One, the traction control light does its best impression of a strobe. Or two, you have a massive crash because it cannot put its power down. It's not even cold out. It is just constantly flickering at me. So as it's not even cold out. Crash.
Okay, so its paddles don't move.
It's not even cold out. It is just constantly flickering at me. So how's the Aston handle a canyon? Not that well, if I'm being honest. I mean, the steering is great. It's actually quite talkative and very sharp. But there's a lot of weight to move around. You really feel it. You know, it's a bit dull in the corners. And you know what? Like, it is a massive GT car. It's still amazing for what it's doing right now is incredible. But it is not a Lotus. It is not a Miata, obviously. It is a continent-crossing GT car. And I will say, for a continent-crossing GT car, the ride is maybe a little bit stiff. You know, it's livable. It's totally fine. And as much as I'm driving this in a canyon right now, we have been living with this all week long. And it is great. It's easy to drive. You can just chill out, put it down from Sport Plus mode into comfort mode.
Sport Plus?
You can pretend that you have Apple CarPlay and just cruise. And it feels special the whole time. You've just got miles and miles of hood in front of you, a ridiculous V12 engine, a thunderstorm behind you. And all the while, you're in a comfy seat, and you get to look at an Aston Martin badge. That does it for me. It really does it for me, honestly. You can count on half of one hand how many front-engine V12 cars are out there. This is a rare beast. And it's a rare beast that I really quite like a lot. It isn't perfect. The transmission is a little bit slow. And as we'll talk about in a minute, there's quite a few issues in here. But for what I'm doing right now, driving through a canyon with a beautiful view, covering distance comfortably and very, very quickly, this is one of the best cars in the world for that. At least in the way that it makes you feel when you're doing that. Let's throw on some music and just drive. You see the doors go up a little bit?
They do go up. They go up and out.
Yeah, well, not like this.
Kind of like a...
But like this.
Subtly.
Yeah, subtly, yeah.
Speaking of subtle and not subtle,
Okay.
This
I ain't gonna lie, that's fire. I never
unsubtly
seen that
has
before.
two very mean competitors that come to mind.
Okay.
You mentioned the Continental GT.
Yes.
There's also the 812 Superfast from Ferrari.
Oh, I know.
Right, which is
That's 100 grand more base than this, though.
it's a bit more. So yeah, it's something like that.
Yeah.
All right, but what about a McLaren 765 LT? I think it's like 50 grand more.
Yo.
That's,
That
but that's an
McLaren
out
is
supercar.
so
right?
These are supercars. You're talking, yeah, like
The Aston feels an
this is-
in-between. It's a weird in-between because the Bentley is more
765
towards
LT
comfort
is
and plush
hard.
and soft riding,
Yes.
but still sporty. And then you've got the Ferrari. And if the Ferrari, we haven't driven the 812, but if it's got the Ferrari stuff, the fast ratio steering, it's
We've driven an F12, and that was enough for me to go, I'll have it over this. But, I'm sorry, and you can get F12 for cheaper.
Yeah.
But like, this is still so cool.
Yes.
And I was just talking about this, but I love it. I love looking at it. I love standing beside it.
it looks astonishing.
I just love Aston Martins, so I inherently love this, right?
Well, when the DB11 came out, I wasn't crazy about it. The kind of two-tone with the paint, it didn't do much for me. But the slight subtle changes they've made to this, like this comes out wider,
Yeah.
a giant fat grille on the front,
Yeah.
the quad exhaust, the way this comes here, it just tips it off.
Get
but
a
I
quad exhaust.
still think the Vanquish, the latest Vanquish, is better looking.
The Vanquish is really good looking.
But this is mean.
Also, I'd like to be able to say Vanquish. What a cool name for a car. Okay, so I will say that I like the previous gen stuff a little bit better. Like the smaller grills, a little bit more.
You associate that with James Bond. This hasn't
Yep.
been in Bond yet.
My favorite Aston Martin moment, other
Look
than
at
like
that
the
side
obligatory, I have to
profile.
say, the DB5 and Goldfinger and all that,
Yeah.
is the beginning of Quantum of Solace, and that's a DBS.
I see.
That's the previous gen DBS. And whatever. It's an older DBS,
Yes.
and I love that scene. In the tunnels, he's being chased by Alfa Romeos, and so DBS automatically is cool to
Maybe
me.
you just need time. Maybe there just needs to be a sequel with this.
Can't. Oh, spoiler alert! We can't even say what happened unless you haven't seen
This
it.
is. I can't wait for Daniel Craig to drive this one.
Yes.
This is in China Grey.
That's the name of it.
China Grey.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
You can actually customize the DBS pretty adventurously.
Well, I would hope so.
This has been optioned with the 10 two-spoke wheels, diamond cut wheels.
Well, that's 10 times 2 too many spokes because I don't like the look of them.
I think I agree with you. There is a two-spoke wheel you can do that
Yeah.
I think
I
is
like the
stunning.
way it looks.
Well, I just don't like. I don't usually like diamond cut wheels, and this is like, or that style, and this is the like a showpiece for explaining why I don't like them.
Yeah. How
I
mean
just-
do you want to get here?
How mean?
It
why?
looks like the wheels, the alloys that you get when you stop off on the side of the highway at a wheel shop and
yeah.
quickly change them on your
Yeah,
Ultima.
or you go to Canadian Tire for those
Yeah,
Canadians,
this is an
and you buy them
Ultima,
off the rack.
Ultima Martin, as it stands.
An Ultima.
Ultima Martin.
That is
But
crazy.
if you remember, in the DBX,
Yeah.
the way you open the hood was hidden on the wrong side.
Grill on that
Oh,
car is
right.
crazy.
Wanted
Though,
it
I'm
more
not gonna
obviously
lie.
now.
Is it
That's a
clamshelly?
big grill.
Oh. Not clamshell.
There's your twin turbo V8.
Oh, it's a carbon fiber hood.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
DBS.
man.
There's a lot of
It's
carbon
so cool.
fiber on this. Like, may I direct your attention to the carbon fiber front splitter here?
Yes.
Which is
I'm surprised it's still attached to the car, if I'm being honest with you. Yeah.
This car does not have a front axle lift.
No, it does not.
It needs one.
It really, really needs
So,
one.
this scrapes everywhere.
Everywhere.
And don't worry,
Everywhere.
Aston Martin. This is currently perfect right now.
Yeah.
But it's the plastic thing underneath, which is that could have been bad piece, that scrapes on everything. So and LA has all these dips and bumps and things. So
Of the cutout.
horrifying not having a front axle lift. It's not, and you can't option it. So, ugh. I wish you could.
Can we take a look at the inside? Because, I mean, it's very cool out here, other than this little situation with the front axle lift and the weird wheels.
Yeah.
It's great. The inside is, well...
400 grand, mate.
It,
Is it 400 grand? Carbon fiber on the top here.
I don't know. Okay.
Look at the outside.
Just keep focusing on this.
The doors go up and out.
Okay.
All right, I don't want to poop on it. So I'm going to start with the
Do
nice.
it.
I'm going to start with the nice stuff. All right.
Okay.
My countrymen have a way with words.
Yes.
All right. So this carbon fiber in the cabin here.
Yes.
What are we used to calling that?
Forged.
Forged,
carbon.
right? And then
Yeah.
the opposite is
Like woven.
woven.
Yeah.
Not for Aston.
Okay.
This is chopped.
Chopped.
And then the woven version is twilled.
Twilled.
Which I think twill is used elsewhere as well.
Yeah,
But I
twill is more of a fabric thing.
I loved chopped. And what we've learned, haven't we, that the chopped/forged isn't as strong. Not nearly as strong.
I don't. Yeah, it's not as strong, but it's also cheaper to make.
It's cheaper.
Yes.
But like for interior what Aston calls jewellery.
Okay.
It's,
Sorry, literally they call this stuff jewelry?
Well, there's a jewellery section when you're specking on the website.
Why are you adding another syllable to jewelry?
Jewellery.
Where,
Jewelry.
well, can you say jewel?
Jewel.
Can you say baker?
Baker.
Bakery.
Jewellery.
Jewelry.
Jewellery.
Okay.
All right. So this is a very like nice looking interior for the most part.
Yes.
Like the design is cool. I personally prefer the previous gen design physically, but like, you know, the way that the door cuts in here, this whole thing, that all this stuff is cool. And the leathers are really nice and the materials are really nice.
Yeah. There's some things.
But there's some things that are not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I like the Alcantara headlight. I like there's a bit of extra stitch.
it's
There's a
good.
bit of
And
flair
this
going
chrome
on.
on the mirror here is
Yeah.
really nice.
This is over-engineered
neat.
for fun.
Oh, we're going to the bad stuff now.
No. Is this bad? It's fun.
Okay,
not
it's
gonna lie,
fine.
that's kinda
Actually, you know what?
cool.
It works quite well. It feels very like solid.
It's
when
also
it moves.
child safe. The moment you push it there, it just goes back.
All right, crush my hand. Go. Oh, that's pretty good.
Gentle.
Yeah.
Gentle touch. The key
Which fits perfectly in this little slot right here.
is massive.
Yeah.
It's not heavy.
No.
It's just huge. And yeah, it
doesn't fit in
It doesn't fit in that slot. So what's that slot for?
That's
I don't
crazy.
know. What is it for? I tried to put my phone on it to use as Apple CarPlay because there's no Apple CarPlay in this car.
What? No, you're joking. 400 grand.
I wish I were.
2023.
No, it's my phone.
400
This is a great
bands?
angle to completely cover up this
For this?
utterly useless screen in this car and just put my phone there.
That's a big knock on this car.
Bro,
you know,
400
because
is
it's
crazy.
a Grand Tourer. This isn't one of those cars. Well, it's a supercar. I don't need the tech.
Yeah,
You want
exactly.
all the comforts in the tech. I can't believe that this doesn't have it. The DBX does.
Actually,
But,
Yes.
but this has the old Mercedes command system, so
Yeah,
it's
it's
not,
very
it's not a
old. It's not
touchscreen.
touchscreen.
You have the
I ain't
choice
gonna lie,
of
that's
this
valid.
turn wheel or this
Yeah.
pad here.
And compared to what you get in a Bentley Continental GT,
I don't even want to mention the B word inside this
No,
car
I know,
because
it's
mad
you
money,
called the
though.
Bentley interior a yacht.
yeah, it is a yacht. It's got like hand-oiled teak and like, you know, nautical themed like gauges that spin on the. But the thing is that, again, the Bentley Continental GT doesn't have the same vibe as this car at all. This is like cool sports thing.
Well, I actually think the
James
Continental.
Bond, sleek, you know.
Listen, North Americans are easily persuaded by something being in a film, right?
Yeah.
To be fair, I do want a Nimbus 2000, but I actually think the new Continental is cool. I think it looks great.
It is cool, but it is still a little bit old man-y, no matter what you do.
Explain this steering wheel to me.
Oh, this is an aftermarket steering wheel that somebody put on, and they ordered it on like a Facebook group, and someone hand stitched them, and then it doesn't look like a steering wheel you'd get
It's
in a
just
car.
a weird shape,
a
and,
weird
and like
shape,
these
yeah.
buttons are not.
It is
$400,000
weirdly shaped.
style buttons.
I'm not
Even
gonna lie.
these are plastic
Th-
stalks.
these are
from,
cool,
from
though.
a Mercedes. Like
No,
this,
they are, but
this-
the carbon fiber like turn
paddle shifters are
paddle
great.
shifters are great.
Again, I have absolutely no problem with this car. It's just when you get to that price point, and like the Bang Olufsen tweeters that come up, that's a $9,000 extra.
That sounds about right.
But it's a great sound system.
Yeah.
The problem is oh wow, the market has spoken. These have been around for 3 or 4 years now, and they depreciate quite heavily. So I think you can pick up a high mileage one.
Leave it to Aston Martin to like, keep the normalcy to the car market.
So,
Cars
okay.
should depreciate heavily.
I'm not going to speculate the market price, but at market price, I have no problem with this interior. That's what I'll say.
Okay, there you go. Yeah.
The back seats are just for storage. No human can sit there.
I mean, like a tiny child could sit behind you, and that's
Yeah.
about it right now. But okay, so overall, I think that this car, and I hate keep continuing to use the word cool because it's stupid and it's unquantifiable and all of that. But when I drive this car, I cannot help but enjoy it. I feel cool. It's an Aston Martin. Looking at that badge on the steering wheel is awesome. And I totally understand why someone would spend this amount of money on it. Because they don't want a Bentley, they don't want a Ferrari, they want an Aston Martin.
I will say that, like, big shout out to the Jag F-Type R, which is they've always been like a budget Aston.
Yeah.
And the F-Type R has like 575 horsepower.
That's quick.
All-wheel drive, usable. The interior is not much worse than this.
No.
And that car is, like, I love that car exists. It absolutely is a budget Aston now that we've driven
That
this.
interior is
yeah.
tough.
So respect to that car, but I
I
totally
really look like
understand
some
this car.
Right?
luxurious
It's
type
cool.
of.
That is
I
the
actually
word.
think it's great.
Actually,
Oh,
yeah.
look at that. Great.
It's just-
Conclusion time.
Great cool.
It is common knowledge that Aston Martin draws equally from the wells of sportiness and luxury.
I
And
thought it
in
was
that,
just luxury.
there is always compromise. After this day
I
of
know, learned
filming,
something
I
new
drove down
today.
to San Diego to visit that tool man that you saw at the beginning of the video, and on the rough concrete highways of Southern California, the cabin was louder and creakier than I expected, and didn't quite deal with the interruptions in the road surface as well as I would have liked.
On the sporty side, yes, there are more powerful cars, like the 812 Superfast. And yes, as James said, some of those pesky McLarens could probably zip past it in a straight line. There are also definitely cheaper cars. The Lexus LC500, for example, even though it is a lot slower, like a lot, it's still a very special car to experience, and it costs
They have to emphasize a lot.
$100,000 less. However, despite their
So it's
flaws,
100
the
bands?
DB11 and the DBS remain the only new twin-turbocharged V12 sports cars you can buy. And for many, that, along with its legendary badge, creates quite an unbreakable bond. James,
I see what they
Bond,
did
I'm
there.
sorry. Thanks for watching.
Okay. Yo, hold on. Yo, I don't know how I feel about like the grill on this M2. Like this is like I don't know what BMW got going on with these like new generation grills or whatever, but like bro, that look like the Lego version of itself, bro. Like what is this? This doesn't look too bad. I'm not gonna lie. This I'm okay with. This, bro, why? Like, I'm not gonna lie. This probably could grow on me, but like I don't know. Like the rest of the car look okay. It's just this grill and this little like part right here. Like what it, bro? I